This is the informative speech, speech two. So action. um, so a lot of college students feel like they can't afford travel, and in a way, it's true. But in another way, it's not true. Me, as a college student, I travel at least once a year, and I try to go to different places and experience different things. And throughout my time of traveling, I've learned how to stretch every dollar. A big part about being able to travel, especially as a college student or as anybody for that matter, is budgeting. You have to save your money to have a great time at the place you want to go and to be able to go to the places that you want to go. A big part about traveling is location. Location is everything. Location, location, location. You have to figure out where you're going to go and if you can afford it going to that place. Different places cost more money than other places. It happens. Other places, especially time of the year, is big. You know, if you're going to go to this, winter time to the Bahamas or something, it it might cost a little more, a little less. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a big difference. Different times of the year, and different places. You know, people look at airfare and they look at accommodations, and they're either like, oh, I could afford it, or oh, that's a lot of money. When realistically, you got to look at the place you want to travel to as a whole. Not only airfare and accommodations, but activities, food, um, you know, places you want to see, go, um, rent a car, or also, what's it called? Uber. How did I not think of that? Uber, Uber places. That's a taxi. Um, you gotta look at the whole thing as a whole. Some ways that college students, especially, can travel and save a ton of money is by volunteer work. You can go to Africa and volunteer, um, you know, and do different things and save money because they either pay for your accommodation and you can not only go over there to help someone, but can also experience a different culture. And it's a great way to travel, especially if you're tight on money and want to do this and have the time and the energy to go and volunteer somewhere. Then do it. It's a great way to travel, and it's for the most part very very friendly on your wallet. Saves you money, and it's also going to be a great story in the future of how you went to this place to go volunteer and help out. A big part about travel is planning ahead. Obviously, like I said before, saving money, but find the best plans early. Book a trip months in advance, maybe a year in advance. You definitely will save money. You definitely have the time to budget and get the money you need, and you definitely will book the best place for the best price. And planning early is a big thing about traveling, and I do it every year. I plan at least a year in advance to different places, so I'll be on a trip and I'll actually be planning my next trip while I'm on that current trip. I do it all the time with my friends. It's a great way to plan stuff. Um, I'm actually going to go to Florida. I'm going to two places next year, Florida and Colorado. And I'm saving money because I'm not actually flying. I'm riding my motorcycle down to Florida and also riding into Colorado. So it's going to be a lot of riding, and it's a great way to save money because I'm not spending money on airfare. And it's also a great way to save money because motorcycles are, very cheap when it comes to gas. So, and I budgeted way early for my second trip. I already had the money for my second trip way in advance. I save money all the time for vacations, which, like I said before, budgeting is a very important thing. You know, another big thing about traveling, when you go to a place, make friends with the locals. Because in the future, if you become really buddy buddy with someone, you may actually be able to stay with that person in the future. They can give you rides, they can take you places, and you'll save so much more money. So when you go somewhere, for example, go to Florida, make friends with someone in Florida. They can be great friends. Go to different states, or if you go, across the country, or overseas to a different country, and if you become friends with someone, if you trust them enough, you can stay with them, and that saves you a ton of money in the future. So making friends with the locals always pays to to have friends in other countries and places. A great way to save money when you're traveling and to plan ahead is, utilize the off-peak periods, which is like avoid school holidays and, plan, you want to plan, if someone's planning to go to a place and it's very busy around that time of year in that area, do the complete opposite. Go when it's not busy. You'll save money, and, you'll have a great way of having the ability to enjoy everything by yourself, kind of. Solo public transportation. It's a big way to save money. Use buses, taxis, things like that, because it's cheaper than renting a car. If you had the money to rent a car, I suggest doing it because you can kind of go your own way and things. But if you don't, and you're tight, then public transportation is a great way to do it. So, yeah, traveling can be expensive, and it can be crazy, and your mind's gonna boggle, and you're gonna go, oh, I can't do this, I can't go there, I can't go here. Realistically, you can. You just gotta be smart about it. Budget, plan ahead, and enjoy it. Just, especially as a college student, you're still young, we're still young, we still have a lot to experience in life. I've already been to many more places than my parents have, and it's been a very great and humbling experience. I've been able to see different cultures and things, and I enjoy it very much. I love to travel. I always look for the great deals. I always try to save as much as possible so I can go places. And yeah, I got bills to pay. Yeah, it's expensive, but I work hard, so I feel like I deserve trips every year, and I try to do as much as I can. And I save, and I look ahead, and I plan, and I go on off-peak periods, and one thing that I want to do in the future is volunteer. And I suggest everyone volunteers at some point in their life, and if you have the opportunity to volunteer in another country, by all means, I suggest do it. It'll be a great story. So don't be scared about looking at the prices. Don't think it's impossible to travel, because it definitely is possible to travel. You just gotta look for the right price, look at the right time, and be smart about it. So it's possible. Thank you, and I hope everyone gets to travel at some point in their life, which I'm sure you will.